Lestat is back, and this time he's met his match in Memnoch the Devil, the 5th volume in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles. There you see the cover. Critics are calling it the best in the series. It's already at the top of every bestseller list. Joining us here in Washington is author Anne Rice. Are you surprised anymore, or are you automatic now?
No, I'm surprised. I'm always surprised.
This is the fastest you've ever gone to top.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like
and this
by
is a
Pat
risky
Conroy?
book. I know, whom I love. I love Pat Conroy personally. He's great, yeah. But it was great fun to fly up there, and I couldn't believe it.
What's the first printing?
I think they're near 1 million. I think the first printing was 600, 700,000.
Normally you would say titles should swing. Beach Music, wonderful title. Gone with the Wind, not a bad title.
Definitely.
Memnoch the Devil is a good title. Memnoch the Devil.
Yeah, I think it's a great title.
Where did you get that name?
I made it up, checking to make sure that there was no other person in all of Hebrew history named Memnoch. I think I'm right. I think I checked it out.
Did you use a computer?
No, I just went through all my books, the Kabbalah, and I went through all my studies of you know.
Someone said today this is your most, one of the critics, sensual work. Would you agree? And
that's
spiritual.
Good. I'm very glad to. It is, absolutely. It's.
What is the story here? What happened?
Well, Lestat, my hero, has been through 5 books, and he's been through every conceivable adventure I can imagine.
Because he don't die.
Yes, and also because I take him very seriously.
I know you do, Anne. That's one of your problems.
Right, that's one of my problems.
All right. I know Anne a long time.
That's why I jumped on you last time about the rats, right? But anyway, which I was sorry for. In this, he confronts God and the devil, as other people have. You know, two images present themselves and say, we are God, we are the devil, you know. And the devil tries to win him over as an adversary of God. And so it was, to me, asking every question that really concerned me about life. I'm obsessed with the idea. Do you believe? Well, I shouldn't ask you. But I'm obsessed with the idea of whether or not we have a God. I'm obsessed with whether or not we have a personal devil or evil's just an absence.
Are you obsessed with whether or not there's anything after this?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And I read everything I can from the near-death experiences.
All right. The more you read, the more you write. Are you less convinced or more convinced?
The older I get and the more I read, the more convinced I am that there is a God. That it is absolutely stupid not to think so.
And that there is something else when you die.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, the plot line, it sounds ethereal. Lestat is talking with the God and Memnoch is the devil. What's the plot line, though? There's a plot weaving its way through here.
Well, Memnoch wants Lestat to help him. And he wants to win him over, and he thinks he's strong.
Where is this taking place?
And it starts in New York City on Fifth Avenue, actually. And the devil sweeps him away to show him creation from his point of view and everything that he feels that God is wrong about, which is essentially human suffering. That's what the book is about. Well, you know, how do you justify human suffering? What is the meaning of blood sacrifice? What's the meaning of blood? What is the best blood? I mean, what does it mean to have a religion founded upon a murder? An execution of Christ. That's what it means.
You think you're helped by the Simpson trial?
No, but I'm inspired by everything and obsessed with everything.
You are?
Yeah, but I'm very obsessed with this question. And the vampires for me have always been spiritual explorers, and this is like the culmination of the 5 books. This is the last one as far as I'm concerned.
You're not going to write any more vampire books?
No, I don't think so.
Are you going to do a book like Judy Krantz? No, I mean, what are you going to do?
My next book is called Servant of the Bones. It's about a Hebrew ghost. He starts out in Babylon, B.C.
Servant of the Bones. You can't get away from it.
I will not get away from it. No. I want to do a Hebrew ghost who does not want to be a bad ghost anymore.
Are you looking forward to Mel Brooks' Dracula?
I'm very much looking
forward
to it. I ran a big 2-page ad in Variety, telling him how thrilled I was. I can't wait.
How did you get, for want of a better term, hung on this vampire stuff?
Thank us for our affluence, our powers.
When did you write your first vampire book?
1976, and I didn't know 1974. I didn't know what I was doing. Interview with a Vampire.
That was your first one?
Yeah, and I was just sitting there thinking, what would it be like? Was that a hit
right away?
Yeah, well, more or less. It was sort of both. It was a
cult
hit and an unground. It was both. Yeah, it had a little bit bestsellerdom, and then it had cult hit.
What took off for you?
What really took off? A book called The Queen of the Damned, which was the 3rd one in the series. But The Vampire Lestat, the 2nd one, where Lestat became the real hero of the Chronicles, that was a big breakthrough. The Queen of the Damned was the first one to be number 1, where we almost fell over dead.
You say you sit there and you just go at it. Does that mean you don't plot it out?
No, I think a lot about it. I think a great deal about it.
Do you plot it out?
So, to some extent, but I'm always ready for something to happen. I type very fast, Olympic type speed, and revelations come to me, you know.
Are you strongly edited?
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all.
As a matter of fact, my editor has graciously gotten used to the fact that I can't change anything. And she's famous for being an outstanding editor, and she leaves me completely alone. She knows I can't take it. I can't change it.
So therefore you don't write 3-1, because Conroy gets spared a lot because he writes a lot.
Well, I just don't,
Thomas Wolfe wrote, what, 5-1?
Yeah, I just, you know.
What we read is what you wrote, and
absolutely,
we ain't missing anything.
Exactly. And if somebody says it's badly edited, that means Anne badly edited it when she went through it on her computer.
Now, what has this done to your own life? Like the way you dress in this mode, this hair, the dark black hair coming down, the cross on your thing. I mean, is this like shtick?
All my life, I have looked wrong and been stared at. All my life. I would go to my own book signings in a Brooks Brothers blue blazer, you know, and people would come in with white makeup and fangs and everything. It's like, we never expected you to be so ordinary and so dull.
So I'm
finally dressing the way I want to dress. I asked somebody to make this for me, Bonnie Brohl, a seamstress. I said, just make me something that looks like a combination of Dolly Parton and Michael Jackson. I want to shine. I want glitter. I want sparkle. I want to wear something that's pretty. I'm always wrong anyway. They're always staring at me for some reason, you know. So I might as well do what I want to do. And that's it.
What's the thing around the neck?
Oh, this is just various jewelry I collected. I thought these crosses were great. This is a replica from the Modern Museum.
Do you wear it for any reason to fend off devils?
No, I don't. Well, don't wear it at all to fend off devils. I think it has a deep meaning for me because of my deep, search for the truth.
They gonna make a movie of this one?
We'll see. It's David Geffen's call again. He's got control of all the vampires. I didn't ask him. I talked to him today, but I forgot to ask him.
You wound up happy with Tom Cruise, right?
I wound up blissfully happy with Tom Cruise.
First not liking it, then liking it.
Liking it very much and thinking it was a very serious and very good movie.
Cast Memnoch. Who would play Memnoch?
Oh, no, that's a good question. I really, after the cast battle of Tom Cruise, I don't know.
Yeah, but if you could pick one out of the hat, who comes to mind as a good Memnoch? Me, I thought Tom Hanks is an actor.
No, this devil.
Little joke there. Go ahead.
We all know Tom Hanks can do anything. We all know that, right?
But who would come to mind and who would you like to see?
Antonio Banderas, if we could explain away the accent.
We'll be right back with your calls for Anne Rice. Memnoch is out. It's #1 in a week. Don't go away. Rice. Already another major bestseller. The Last Vampire Book. Get it while it's hot. There won't be any others. Next is what?
Azrael, Servant of the Bones.
Azrael, Servant of the Bones. It's a Jewish mysticism.
Everybody in it is a Hebrew.
Are you Jewish?
The entire book. Yes, partly. Great-grandmother.
Okay. Counts. No. Montezuma, Georgia. Hello.
Yes. Where did Lestat, where did you come up with Lestat? I'm just curious. Is he like your alter ego? Or?
Yeah, he's like my bad self and my heroic self and my questing self. I tend to be very indecisive and brooding and full of despair and anxiety and angst and constant worry. And he's the character that goes out and refuses to be knocked down by all of that. You know, he's me going forth and acting and doing things.
Where did you come up with his name?
Made it up. Made a mistake. You really want to know? There's an old Louisiana name, Leston, and I misspelled it, Lestat. And I think it was because my husband's name is Stan, and Lestat was based on my husband Stan. So I misspelled. Freudian slip.
What does your husband do?
My husband is a painter and a poet. My husband is a fantastic painter and poet.
You married a long time, right?
Oh, yeah, 34 years.
How many children?
We have one child. We lost one child many years ago, but we have a beautiful 17-year-old son.
What is life like at home? Is his name Rice?
Yes.
At home with the Rices.
Oh, life is a three-ring circus. For one thing, there's 24 people working for us. So it's just like when you were a little kid and your aunts were all there and there was...
You work out of your house?
Yeah, and I work right in my bedroom, right next to my bedroom in my office, and I've got wonderful secretaries and helpers and angels and, you know...
Near the French Quarter?
No, Garden District, uptown.
Oh, the Garden,
yeah. I have to be near those great big oak trees and those beautiful old houses. I mean, the French Quarter is wonderful, too. Every little New Orleans girl wants to live in the French Quarter.
And the captain's table. What's captain's?
Commander's Palace.
Commander's Palace.
Yeah, so my characters always go there.
Bad restaurant.
A fabulous restaurant.
London, England. Hello.
Hi, Larry.
Hi.
I wanted to ask her, the greatest in her books is due to the richness and the narrative and the symbolism. Does she feel that translates well onto film, like Interview with a Vampire?
Well, I think it's a hard thing to translate. I think it's a hard thing to translate it into film. I felt in Interview with the Vampire they did much, much better than I ever expected. I was astonished in how much of Louis' despair came through and how much of Lestat's conflicted character, things like a damn good vampire movie, part of it. But it is hard to translate. It's Hollywood's very frightened. They're frightened about making, movies where people ask long philosophical questions. And yet this is what my readers love. I mean, they tell me I did a signing last night in Chicago. I couldn't honestly tell you. I would say equally. Yeah, it has to be equal. I don't know.
A lot of people dress strangely when they come to you.
Yes, they do, which is one reason why it inspired me to dress up a little bit, because they would come looking so wonderful, and in red velvet and everything.
Toledo, Ohio, for Anne Rice. Hello.
Hi, Anne. I'm curious about a passage in Memnoch where Lestat drinks the blood of Christ on the way to the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you find it necessary to include something so potentially offensive in your book? Oh, I love the book, by the way, though.
Well, frankly, I don't see that as offensive when Lestat drinks the blood of Christ. I mean, I grew up a Catholic, going to Mass every morning and drinking the blood of Christ in one form myself. And at that point in the book, as you know, Christ is trying to persuade Lestat not to become one of Memnoch's henchmen. And he invites him to drink the blood. And to me, it was a very, very wrenching scene to write. It was a confrontation with all my religious beliefs and values.
Is Memnoch a complicated person?
Memnoch, yes, very complicated. Yeah.
Memnoch ain't bad either.
Yeah, somebody came in asking for Knock Knock the Devil the other day.
But Memnoch is complicated.
Very complicated, yes. I wanted to know, how could the devil be so stupid, to just fall out of heaven, just insult God? What a dope, right? Now, what if the devil was an intelligent, thinking, changing entity? I mean, what if there was such a person? Well, what would his argument with God be?
What do you think it was?
Well,
what do you think ticked him off?
In the human suffering. That human suffering.
So the devil got mad at human suffering.
Yeah. Imagine watching evolution from the beginning, and then suddenly you get to these sentient beings that cry when one of them dies, that are capable of kindness and making families and clans. That's exactly what ticks him off. And so that's part of what this novel is about. He doesn't believe, and God is, taking the same position as he did in the book of Job, where you and I made the stars,
We'll be back with our remaining moments with Anne Rice, Memnoch, the devil. Don't go away. Anne Rice, the caller is from New Orleans. Hello.
Hi, Anne. It's Camille, your actress fan from New Orleans.
Hi.
Thanks for signing my book, Good Luck in L.A. I'm only going there so I can be in the witching hour.
Good luck in L.A., right.
Yeah. My question is, as a creative person, I am going to need some de-stressing techniques when I get out there to relax and to recharge.
Oh, I have no answer to that at all. I live in a state of incredible tension, or I fall asleep.
You do not.
Yeah,
you ever
I worry. I'm full of anxiety.
You ever go to Virgin Islands?
No. If I do, I want a fax machine and to call home.
Don't sit on a beach.
No, I can't. I've tried that. I have to have the fax, the phones, the cellular phone, be able to reach all different people.
Are you always writing?
Just about, if I'm home. Or doing other things. I mean, New Orleans is full of things like Mardi Gras. We had a huge Mardi Gras.
What do you do at Mardi Gras?
Oh, well, I have a house on St. Charles Avenue. And we all gathered there to watch all the parades. It was great fun. Cousins came from everywhere. Yeah, well, they have parades that go right past. We have about 13 or 14.
Do you have a parade?
No, I do not. No, but I was invited to be the literary muse of Orpheus. And so,
are you
happy about that.
Does New Orleans salute you? They're going to name a street after you while you're alive, at least?
They're very kind.
You'll be alive forever, won't you?
They're very kind to me, and they've already given me an honorary tomb in St. Louis No. 2 Cemetery. So that's pretty good.
That's a cemetery with below sea level, right?
Right, that's with all the big tombs above. So
that's right, you can't.
It's an honorary plot, I have a lot of trouble getting in there. Literally. By the way, I already had my funeral. You knew this.
No.
I started off, on the first day the book was out, I was put in a coffin and put in a glass hearse and had a jazz funeral, which is, everybody in New Orleans dreams of having a jazz funeral. I've had one. And I was carried to the book signing, and then the coffin was lifted out by 8 pallbearers, and then I got out of it in a wedding dress. And it was wonderful. I absolutely loved it. It was the most bizarre experience to be lying in that coffin with my hands in proper, position and listening to that incredibly wonderful New Orleans jazz, blues as these guys were playing, and they were the real thing.
You don't think that's a little weird?
I think it's wonderfully weird.
What'd your husband think?
I think he was horrified by the whole idea, but he actually went there and walked in the procession as all my relatives were doing what they call second lining.
Hate to break it to you. He called Etna. Thanks, Anne. Memnoch. That's funny. We'll see you tomorrow night. Memnoch the Devil. Please buy this book. The woman really needs sales. Good night.